Hello again, fight fans. Welcome to another edition of 10 Count. I'm your host, Michael Montero, joined by Michael Baca of UCN Live and Doug Fischer of Ring TV. Guys, November 26th at the Cosmo in Las Vegas, Nicholas Axeman Walters has his first fight of the year going up against Vasyl Lomachenko in what is a great matchup that we've been talking about for almost 2 years now. Doug, how do you see this fight playing out, given that both guys have moved up to 130 pounds now?
Yeah, I think, listen, I thought the Axeman was a monster at 126 pounds by virtue of the fact that he could make 126 pounds. Because when you saw him walking around, he looked like a full-bodied junior welterweight or even a welterweight. So he was a beast at featherweight. Obviously, he was draining himself to make that weight. He stepped up to 130 pounds, fought tough kid in Jason Sosa last December. I thought he beat the kid. It was a good fight, but I thought he beat Sosa. He had to settle for a majority draw, and he was understandably pissed off. Sosa, by the way, has gone on to win a major title at 130 pounds. So that performance looks even better in retrospect, because Sosa was a bit of an unknown product going into that HBO televised fight. I think Lomachenko was awesome at featherweight, might even be better at junior lightweight. We have to remember the final years of Lomachenko's amateur career, he was fighting at 132 pounds and whipping everybody on the Olympic and World Amateur Championship level. I think moving up in weight has added to the athleticism. I think it's added to the power of both men. I think both men they were supremely confident to begin with. I think they're more confident because they're more comfortable, physically speaking, at junior lightweight. So I think it's a terrific fight, and I love the style matchup. With Walters, you have the puncher, and he has a puncher's mentality. He wants to whack you out of there, but he's a good boxer. He's got good technique, and he goes about it. I think he's aptly named Axeman, because it's like he's chopping down a tree. Right. He's not trying to get you out of there with one shot. He's breaking you down, and I think Lomachenko breaks fighters down in his own way, but he's a boxer. But he's a fluid, athletic, thinking southpaw who's busy, and he also works the body. I think it's really two of the best body punchers in the lower weight classes. So for hardcore fight fans, I mean, this is a great holiday gift on Thanksgiving weekend.
Mike, anything you want to add to that? I mean, this might be the best diehard boxing fight fans fight of the year. The best.
Absolutely. I remember when these two both held the world title in the featherweight division after Walters knocked out Donaire. These two were in discussion to fight and unify the titles. And I remember saying back then, that's a fight that you watch in a candlelit room. And at 130 pounds, I think it's going to be even better because, Walters was a big featherweight, and I think him at 130 is going to be a better fighter. And Lomachenko beating, what was his name? Rocky Martinez in knockout fashion, spectacular knockout fashion.
And looking sensational every step of the way before the stoppage.
Every minute of that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this fight at 130 is going to be awesome. Like you said, I agree with Doug and everything you said. Both really good body punchers, and I think that's the key to beating Lomachenko, if he can be beaten, because we saw that with Orlando Salido. Salido got him to the body. Sometimes a little bit too low.
Right.
But, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, but maybe Walters can take advantage of that.
That was the second professional fight for Vasyl Lomachenko, if you don't count his World Series of Boxing sort of semi-pro bouts. And he showed the world a lot in that fight. I mean, he almost pulled it out. I mean, he was actually the stronger guy down the stretch.
Absolutely.
In a couple fights later, he won the vacant WBO title against Gary Russell Jr., a very talented American fighter who is now a major title holder at featherweight. But had Walters and Lomachenko fought after Walters knocked out Nonito Donaire, immediately after, had they fought maybe a couple months after that fight, I think Walters would have been the favored fight. Maybe not by Vegas betting odds, but I think most fight fans would have favored him. Thinking about Lomachenko's tough time with Orlando Salido, saying, hey, you had your hands full with this rugged dude who doesn't have the size, reach, athleticism, and punching power of the Axeman Walters. Walters might get you. This is super risky. But fast forward, a year and a half, 2 years, now we have a version of Walters who's been inactive all of 2016, right. And Lomachenko is coming off of a beautiful performance against Rocky Martinez. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Lomachenko is the solid favorite going into this bout.
I believe so, betting-wise, yes.
And who do you favor?
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko, and I think it's going to go the whole distance, but I think Lomachenko just has more levels, and I love the way he turns guys. He works the body, as you said, Doug, but he does this thing where he taps you to the body and then spins out and pushes you off.
He's doing so much all at the same time,
it's really
all the
fun,
time.
It's really fun to watch. I find it intriguing.
And for Walters to land that power, he has a nice jab. He sets it up nice, but he's got to be set. He's got to set it up. And I think if Loma's spinning him and he has to keep resetting, it's just going to be that for 12 rounds. And I was going to ask you guys about the inactivity. Does that play a role here? If both of these guys had been just as active this year, would you see it as more of an even matchup?
I don't see how it's not a factor.
Yeah.
I mean, fighters don't get better by not fighting. And if you're somebody, listen, he struggled to make 126. The junior lightweight limit is just 4 pounds more than that. If you've been sitting out all this time, even if you're engaging in exercise and you're going to the gym, my guess is Walters walks around pretty heavy. I think he walks around at like 150. It's still, I think it's going to be tougher for him to make the 130-pound limit had he not been fighting. Like if he had at least one fight or at least 2 fights going into this fight, he would have had 2 camps, and I think his walking around weight would be lower. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know. But I'm thinking he's starting this camp. He started this camp heavier than he probably would have liked to.
I was just going to say, if you've seen him at weigh-ins and you've seen him at workouts and stuff, he has no body fat. Right. By the time he was cutting down to 126, and now he's just a couple years older, I think it's going to absolutely be tough for him to make 130.
Yeah, so that's got to be a factor. If he struggles, if he has to struggle to make weight, that's you don't want to be weight trained against Lomachenko.
No,
I mean, jeez.
Yeah, if we all favor Lomachenko here, if the rematch with Orlando Salido can be made next year, how do you see that one playing out?
I love Lomachenko.
Yeah,
love him in that fight. Because he almost got the job done with the odds stacked against him, without the professional experience, against a guy who kind of played the system, didn't really try to make weight, came in really strong, came in extra heavy, and pulled out all the stops in terms of old pro tricks, all the dirty stuff.
It's almost a no contest.
Yeah,
it really is kind of a gray area.
You know, but having said that, having all of that against him, I thought Lomachenko just rose to the occasion. I mean, he came on in the middle of the fight.
Almost knocked him out toward the end.
And had him reeling in the final round. So that's the version of Lomachenko with 1 pro bout under his belt, having never fought 12 pro rounds. And now he's gone the 12-round limit a few times. He's got that professional experience. He never lacked for confidence. Adding to his confidence, there's the revenge factor. I'm sure he wants to whip Siri's ass. I mean, come on. As many times as he was mugged and hit low, and and he's a proud man. As an amateur, he only lost once. The guy that beat him, it was he had to beat that dude. That was very important for him to do that, and he did.
I think he could be the first guy, or not the first, he could stop Siri in that rematch, and I would actually favor him to do so. But before that, he's got to get past the Axeman. Well, there you have it, fight fans. Let us know what you think. Comment below, like, share, subscribe. For Doug Fischer and Mike Baca, I'm Michael Montero. We'll see you next time at 10 Count.